Welcome to the Cuzzies podcast,
where real talk meets the beat from heart to heart, so laugh and cheers will bring the heat.
you rockin' with the Cuzzies podcast.
Dive into topics from A to Z, no boundaries, always free, you gon' hit your beat. We breaking boundaries, unconventional catalysts, raw and authentic analysts. You're welcome, y'all, we finally here.
Hey, Cuzzies! Thank you for joining us today on the Cuzzies podcast, where we love raw, authentic, and transparent conversations. I'm your cousin Julia.
And I'm your cousin Lisa.
And today we will be talking about life of a medium with our special guest, Miss Erica Johnson.
Welcome, Erica, and thank you for joining us today. Would you please introduce yourself to the Cuzzies?
Yes, hello. I am Erica Johnson, and I'm a psychic and a medium. So I help people connect to those people that we say have died or have transitioned. And I actually work with other living people as well to help them understand their intuition more. I do something called intuitive readings. So I help people get insight when they're having challenges at work or with relationships, or they're just feeling stuck in life. So yeah, that is me, and that is what I do.
Well, thank you so much. All right, ladies, y'all ready?
Yes.
All right, let's get into it.
All righty. So, Erica, could you explain to everyone, what is a psychic medium?
Okay, so a psychic and a medium are actually a bit different. And so a person can be psychic without being a medium. And so what I mean by that is a psychic is a person who's able to connect to other people. There are psychics who talk to animals. There's psychics who connect with nature or nature spirits. So it's really about having this intuitive, telepathic connection to something else. And so you can pick up images, sensations in your body. You might hear sounds. There's many different ways that we get communication. But psychics generally are more focused on connecting to other living beings. Whereas a medium, or someone like myself, a psychic medium, so I have the ability to connect intuitively with living beings, with animals, with with all sorts of beings. And I'm also able to connect with those that we call the dead. And really, from a energy perspective, like everything in this universe is energy. And what happens is when we are alive, we have these wonderful meat suits that we call bodies. And so these meat suits are heavy, they have density or matter. And so that vibrates at a different or slower pace than when we release this body, then we just become pure energy. And so the medium is that person who's able to be in that in between state. Because when a person dies and they no longer have this body, they're able to move at the speed of thought. And really, I think it's probably even faster than that, but that's the best way that we can, understand it conceptually. And so they have to be able to slow their vibration down, and the medium has to speed their vibration up so that we can, again, meet in that middle and have a communication. So I hope that makes sense.
It does. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good. So when did you discover or find out that you were a medium?
Well, and this is my cat wants to come and be a part of it. So I didn't really, I would say, acknowledge that I was a medium until I guess it's been maybe eight years ago, maybe a little longer. But I always had these kind of interesting experiences. I had the invisible friends. I would know things about people without really knowing how I knew.
Mm.
But honestly, I really wasn't excited about the idea of being a medium because at the time I had like a lot of fear around what that meant. I thought it was something bad. Um, so I just wasn't excited when things started happening to me where dead people were reaching out to me. I tried to shut it off and I tried to like deny it and ignore it. And that just really doesn't work too well. So it really took my stepfather, he made his transition kind of suddenly. And when he passed on, he started reaching out to me and I was getting messages from him. And honestly, I thought I was crazy. I thought I was just making it up. And so that's what got me to seek out another medium and say, you know, hey, I'm having these experiences. Can you help me out? And at that time she was like, oh yeah, because you're a medium, and you know this is what you do. This is how it is. So so yeah, it was a long journey, I would say, to really acknowledge that part of myself. But once I did, it's like this door started opening and just more and more of my abilities started coming forward.
Mm.
Mm.
Ooh. Well, thank you for that.
Yes. So, how can someone know if they are a medium?
Well, some of the common ways that I see in other people and even in myself. So some people, one thing that's really common is they will be that person who maybe they have a dream about someone like coming by and literally like saying goodbye to them, or they might have a dream about someone being sick and you know this person hasn't said anything publicly to anyone about being ill, but they have a dream about that person being sick and possibly dying. So that is one way that's kind of common, is like people will have these visitations or even these visions when they're awake, but they'll just see things happening to people, or they'll see people, you know, maybe having an accident or a heart attack or something like that. Like they'll see something going on with that person that lets them know that that person is more than likely about to make their transition.
Mm.
Something else that happens is like some of us, we have this sense of smell where we
Mhm.
can actually like smell death or we can smell sickness on people. And so like that's another way that you can tell, because it's something that like even now I can smell like my grandson, one of my grandsons was sick a couple weeks ago, and I could just smell it. I could smell it on him. I could smell it on his breath. And I said something to his dad, and he just looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" But I'm like, I could smell it. Like I know. So having some kind of smelling something. Um, you might be that person who you may feel something in your body about a person. As an example, I'm thinking of someone, their grandparent had a heart attack. And so they started feeling like these chest pains themselves, and they didn't know what was going on. And then they later found out that the grandparent had a heart attack, and unfortunately, that person, they died. So it's like just different sensations that you'll get, um, and just having that knowing about certain things are going on, or again, like something is about to happen. So that's like some of the ways that people may notice or start to understand that they may be a medium. And even I would say even this other one that happens a lot to people is maybe you're out interacting with someone and then it's like all of a sudden you may hear or see someone, like maybe someone's grandparent is like, hey, tell Julia I said hi, and she needs to go out with that guy she just met or something, right? So it's like the person will get like that kind of random message, right? They'll get like that random message to give to another person, and it'll just kind of come out of nowhere. So, yeah, I think those are like some of the common ways that people are not already aware that they may be having these experiences.
That's very interesting. And I've been seeing like little shows about mediums and how they'll just, just be trying to check out with their things, but they'll get, a message and then have to stop one of the, customers and they like, huh? But,
Right.
I always wanted it to happen to me. I don't know why. I think I just always wanted to connect to my loved ones that passed on. So I always used to be hopeful that would happen for me.
Right.
So that's interesting. So, what are some myths you would like to dispel about being a psych medium?
Oh man, so many.
Yes, ain't
I think that now, of course, there's not a across the board for all mediums and psychics because we are, of course, all different. But I do think there's this myth that we're just creepy or we're just spending all our free time hanging out at the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the myth about people thinking that we're evil or that we are like bringing death onto other people. Um, and it's really more like being a witness or just having an awareness of something that was already going to happen. Um, I think that I know a lot of people have a misconception even about wanting to connect to their loved ones. They're afraid or they think that that's quote evil. Um, and I definitely don't see it that way. Um, I think that another big misconception is that people think they have to be like born that way, that they have to have known they've had this ability since they were little children, and that's not true. Um, and I think that I feel like really anyone, in my opinion, and people disagree with me, and that's their right. But I feel like really anyone, if you're willing to take the time and start training your intuition, if you have that desire, I believe that you can learn how to tap into your mediumship abilities. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you have the ability to be intuitive, then it's like that intuitive ability is just turned up a notch when it comes to like connecting with the dead. So yeah, I think that's some of the misconceptions. And even the other one is that people think we know everything or that we just read all
oh,
your thoughts
oh
and
yeah.
and it's like, no, like I'm not trying to read everybody anyway. I don't have time for all that. Like I got my own stuff that I'm focused on.
Yeah,
So yeah,
please.
I think that's yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not all knowing. I mean,
Right, right. Like we can know some stuff,
yeah,
but again,
definitely.
it's not everything. Like no. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's good that you say
It's a
that.
good
'Cause
question.
I know for me, before I found out I was a medium, my biggest thing was fear because I was raised in a certain religion, and they kind of deem things like this as demonic, evil, things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. And so I had this thing that I don't want to talk to no dead people, but it's like once I actually had started cultivating the gift, you know what I'm saying? At that time when I was, really trying to cultivate the gift, it's really like it's really a good connection to have with people on the other side. Like it's really like a partnership,
Mhm.
you know. To me personally, I always use this little saying, I got more juice on the other side than I got on the side.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We definitely do. We really, really do. Because it's like that. It's like a meme, and I've seen it many times where um people say, and even like scientists or genealogists, we have something like 34,000 ancestors. Like when you look at us from our parents to grandparents, great grandparents, and it just
Mm-hmm.
goes back. I think it's like 14 generations. It comes out to be like over 30,000 people that are in your bloodline. And so when you think about, that's a lot of people. If you try to imagine 30,000 people, coming together in one place, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of energy.
Mhm.
And of course, we don't know, everybody's story of how they came to be together. Of course, there were happy, loving relationships. There were unhappy, you know, we all have trauma in our background as well.
Mhm.
But when you just think about all the potential people that prayed on your behalf or that called for some blessings for you, that did whatever they did with the intention of making the next generation's life better, that is so much energy that we can pull from to like help us build ourselves up, or to help us like we can put that energy towards things that we are creating. So I think that we do ourselves a disservice when we allow like this outside programming, like these religions, to tell us that, it's bad or it's evil. And, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I do know that there are parts of the Bible where it's like certain people, usually the kings, right, could go and meet with these mediums, these sorcerers, whatever they were called, the soothsayers. They could meet with these people when they needed information, right? When they wanted to know when is the right time to go to battle with this other group. What do I need to know about these far off lands that I don't already know? Like they would go consult with these people and get accurate information that they would make decisions on, like based on whatever these mystics were telling them. So I think that, people, it's like we want to like pick and choose, what parts of the story or what parts of the book, what parts of the dogma we want to follow and then ignore other parts. But it's like, if these people were going to consult and take action on what they were being told, then what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between them and you wanting to know something to help better yourself? So, yeah.
I agree with that. I agree. So, what would you say would be like the point or purpose of a medium for those who are still trying to figure out like how a medium can be beneficial or would be beneficial?
Yeah. So I think when we're talking about like from the perspective of a person getting a mediumship reading or when they're wanting to develop their own abilities.
Probably just having one in their life
Mm-hmm.
to consult with. Because I know you kind of speaking a little bit on consulting with someone for different areas of your life as well.
Right. So one thing that I see a lot of people are kind of surprised about like a mediumship reading, even though you may come to the reading, maybe you want to connect with your mom, your dad, your, whomever that transition and you want to connect to get a message from them. Generally what happens is it almost always ends up being about you and like what maybe there's something that's going on in your life and you haven't really been given that enough attention. um Maybe you've been having a lot of doubts or you've wanted to create something and you've been holding yourself back. So it's like these mediumship readings really become rather therapeutic, and you also discover like how much love and support you do have on the other side. And for some people, they've been carrying around like guilt and shame. Maybe they didn't make it to the hospital room before the person took their last breath and they've been, feeling guilty for 10 years, 20 years. And, the person has already moved on and they're not even thinking about that. They're looking at you like, you got a whole life to live. Like, what are you doing? So I think that most people walk away from a mediumship reading feeling more empowered and inspired and just generally more loved overall. So that's what I see.
That's what I'm hoping for. Well, thank you for that. All right. So, what would you say to someone that's kind of apprehensive or afraid to see a fight, or maybe even think that it could possibly be evil?
For the person that may have the ability themselves, or just
The
in
one that,
general. Say that again.
the one that's probably a little apprehensive about getting a reading.
Oh, okay. Um, I would say I like to tell people, like, think about, I like to use grandparents a lot just because a lot of people have had some type of strong connection with a grandparent or like an aunt or uncle, like an older person in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I tell people to think about, like, if that person could actually like be here sitting in the room with you, would you feel like that person was evil all of a sudden?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, like, did you feel that way when they were alive? If you had a good relationship with that person, there was love there, there was excitement, there was encouragement, there was like this sense of safety that you felt around this person. And so just because they don't have a body anymore, the love is absolutely still there. Like, it hasn't gone anywhere. So if we could shift to thinking about what could be the benefits of this, what would it be like if I could, be with this person one more time? Like, what would that really be like for me? And
Mm-hmm.
so I think focusing more on the benefits of it versus, again, like all the fear mongering that's perpetrated out there.
Okay. Well, thank you.
That's pretty good. So,
Mm-hmm.
could you also, I do want you to touch on anyone who may be apprehensive about connecting and tapping more into their intuition, because I think that's very important for us to want to really cultivate that. Because it's really, I feel like in this day and age, it's really pertinent with so much going on. Having that, what they call the inner guidance system, is very key
Yeah,
to navigating your life.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree. So, yeah, when it comes to our intuition, so I mean, everybody, well, I don't want to say everybody because maybe there's some people who have, some type of cognitive challenge or something like that. But most people, we already have intuition. We've all had experiences where you're thinking about somebody and then next thing you know, they text or call you, or
Mm-hmm.
you run into them at the store, right? Um, you have a feeling that you should turn left instead of right. And you turn left, and then next thing you know, you hear that there was some accident or, something happened. If you would have turned right, you would have got caught up in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all had that experience. Um, it's just that a lot of us have been taught not to trust our own intuition. And
Mm-hmm.
whether that comes from when we were kids and maybe we said something, we told our parents, like, hey, that man, I don't like him. Like, he feels, something about him I just don't like. And your parents are like, oh, no, it's okay. And they kind of ignore you. And
Mm-hmm.
then, you find out that that person wasn't okay. But now you started to doubt yourself because you spoke up about it and people didn't believe you. So that intuition is so powerful. And I tell people, like, one of the easiest ways to start building your own intuition is by keeping a journal and just taking the time to write down, if you have a dream, or even if you can't really remember the dream, but you just know, like, I think I dreamed about, maybe I saw, my great aunt in my dream last night. I'm not sure what she was trying to tell me, but I feel like we were together. Just write
Mm-hmm.
that down. It may be, you want this job and you get all excited. And like, actually, I was just talking to somebody about this. Um, like, through the series of events, they met somebody, they befriended someone, and so they would go visit this person at their job where they work. And then they decided that they wanted to be in that industry too. And now they just went for an interview at that same place where their friend worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then leading up to that, they met other people that worked at that business long before they knew that they were going to be applying there. And it's like, so all these things are lining up for them. Like, they're following the guidance to, talk to this person. And this person was like, oh, well, I know the general manager at this place, so let me connect you. So it's like all these little seemingly coincidences, which there really are no such things as coincidences, But all of these things are happening and falling into place for this person, meeting a desire that she had like set, like this intention that she has set, that she put out there in the universe. It's like now all of these things are lining up for her. And while all these things are lining up, she's simultaneously like, I don't know how this is happening. This is so, she's like poo-pooing it on one side while she's manifesting it on the other. So, being in tune with our intuition is going to help us say or help us to know when, hey, just speak to that person. Like, I don't even know why I want to speak to this person, but I'm going to speak to this person. And then you speak to that person and they end up, knowing somebody who could help you do something that you've been trying to do for years. Like that happens all the time for people. So having that intuition, even when we meet people who are not good for us for whatever reason, that intuition is going to tell you. And I think even that is one of those things that I feel like we could all look back on situations where we met somebody, we felt something, and then it's like, oh no, it's okay. I'm just going to ignore that feeling.
Right.
I'm gonna
Yeah, you talking
talk
to me
to
on
this
that one.
person.
Yeah.
And
You
then it's
you
like,
pick me up on that one.
oh yeah. So that intuition again, like I said, we all have it. It's just, are we acknowledging it? Are we willing to use it? Are we willing to trust it? Because it's not going to make sense. It's not going to, I mean, sometimes you might get that clear, you might hear a voice in your head that's saying, again, turn left or turn right. But most of the times it's more subtle. And it's like you have to have this willingness. And even like my students that I teach, I tell them, like, you have to be willing to be wrong. You have to be willing to make mistakes along the way, and that's how you're going to learn how to trust yourself. And that's how you're going to learn, you know okay, when my left ear starts ringing, I need to pay attention, right? So you start to be able to discern these different messages and things that you're picking up, and you become more aware. And then it's like the more aware you become, the more you acknowledge it, the more you're going to get other things. And it's like, okay, now I can trust myself. I can move with more flow and more confidence. And so then more things are going to work out the way you want them to. But yeah, that intuition, yeah, I feel like you can't live without it. I
Mm-mm.
can anyway.
Yeah. Definitely gotta, like you said, trust it and listen. See, I get hard headed with mine when I get into connections. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's a process. No, it's a process.
Well, thank you. All right. Could you tell us about a day in the life of a psych medium?
Sure. So for me, I have a routine. I well, when I first get up in the morning, I call all my energy back. I seal my aura. I set my intention for the day. Um, I have this habit now, so I journal every day. I write down, just like what I just told y'all. Like if I had a dream about something or whatever. If I wake up, sometimes I wake up like mid conversation. I have no idea who I'm talking to, but I'll just write down, this thing happened. Um, I do my best to get some exercise every day. I go for a walk. I'm a big nature person. Uh, I've turned into the squirrel lady. So there's these squirrels all in my neighborhood now. It's like they come out when I walk by because they know I got treats for them, whatever. But I do feel like it's really important for me to spend time in nature so that I can ground myself. Sometimes that's where I will get insights about things, and it could be things for me personally, it could be things for my clients. Um, so I would say at least 5 out of 7 days a week, I'm outside somewhere doing something. Um, and then, I come back and I get ready for my day. And I may have private clients that I'm meeting that day. Some people I do particular work for them. So, whatever I'm led to do for that person on that day, I will do that. Also teach people as well how to use their abilities. So I'm always open for inspiration, and I'm reading, I'm studying, I'm learning different things, learning different meditation techniques, breathing techniques. So I'm always like learning and then sharing or teaching. So certain days of the week, I do have classes that I hold with people. So I may be teaching, and supporting my groups, um, and I try to have some fun in there because I don't think for me personally, like I'm not trying to be all woo woo all the time. I believe we came here to have a physical experience.
Mhm.
So, I want to enjoy that. I love food. So
Me
I'm
too.
always eating, snacking, or, trying some new recipe or something like that. And, I'm grateful I have a family, I have my cats. So it's just kind of like a mix of I'm doing, I guess, regular people stuff, um, regular people stuff in between, meeting with clients, working on my business. Yeah, but I would say the biggest thing is I'm very intentional. So I'm setting my intention every day. Before I go to sleep at night, I'm kind of like running my day back. I try to release anything, if something didn't go the way I wanted it to, whatever, I run through it and then it's like, okay, if I get to have a day tomorrow, if I get to wake up tomorrow, then I have an opportunity to try it again, to do better. So I work on releasing things and being intentional before I go to sleep, and I do my energetic protections before I go to sleep, and yeah, then that's it.
Oh,
Mm,
that was good. You
yeah.
had a good day today. That was really good.
Yes. So I know you're going to be doing a live mediumship channeling for us today. So could you tell the viewers a little bit about that? What's to be expected when you get a live mediumship reading, and then you can kind of go into the channeling.
Okay, sure. So, um, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be reaching out to some of your loved ones. And so I do have to start with a disclaimer that whoever you want to speak to, sometimes for whatever reason, that person may not be available. So, what happens if they don't come forward? Someone else will. So, I've never had a reading where like nobody showed up. Um, so, um, so yeah, so that's my disclaimer is that that person that you want to speak to may not be available, but there will be somebody around you that has something to say. Um, so mediumship readings are kind of conversational. Um, I'll get like maybe kind of bits and pieces about things. And so I just share whatever comes. And then you let me know if that resonates with you or not. And then, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask, and I will relay whatever messages come through for you. And that's it. Like it's very conversational. You'll see. It's very conversational. Nothing to be nervous about. Generally speaking, people that you want to speak to, they want to talk to you too, and they've probably already been trying to connect with you, and you just maybe haven't been picking up those clues, those signals that they've been giving.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So we will do like a little grounding, a little breathing together, just kind of relax us and get us synced up, and then yeah, you can tell me whoever you want to speak to, and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right.
So you
So
want me?
you ready?
Okay. I guess. I would love to speak to my mother.
Okay. And
Not
me
opposed
too.
to speaking to my brother either. So either one of them.
Okay. So Let me see. Tell me, what's your mother's name?
Margie Edmonds.
Okay. Oh, I had Aunt Margie. Okay. She was my favorite too. Okay. And how old was Margie when she made her transition?
She was 61.
Okay. And how long ago was it when she passed?
November 20th.
Of last year?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's your brother's name?
Tony Watkins.
And how old was he?
27.
And when did he pass?
August of 2016. August 30th.
Okay. So for Tony, did he I see somebody was like a football jersey, or like I feel like I'm like at a sporting event, and it's like I just see like he got his hands up, and it's like this celebration. It reminds me of like if I was at a sports bar, if I was watching like the Super Bowl and I'm like all hyped up and it's like, hey,
He's the life of the party.
okay, okay,
That he is. Well, were.
okay. So his energy is very, very strong around you.
I knew he was gonna
Okay.
pop up.
He better had it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, he also, yeah, he has that very protective energy.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so with him, with his transition, it just felt like it was unexpected. Like it kind of came out of nowhere.
It was very unexpected.
And that was something that was very hard for your mother.
Hmm.
Because I see her as like it really, I just feel it like in my chest, like this deep pain. Like it's when she got the news, I see her, it's like she grabbed her chest, it's like she kind of went down, like she buckled, and like I just see her like just kind of going down, like trying to grab onto something to
Mm.
hold herself, but it's like that pain. Uh, it was almost so I don't know. She had heart issues,
She
but
did.
like that that definitely made my light go out. That I'm feeling that like that was a big hit. I'll say that. Like that was a big hit on her that like she never quite was able to recover from that. That was really big for her. Yeah.
Mhm.
And do you have other siblings?
I have an older sister.
Okay. And she's still living, right?
Hmm.
And what's
Yeah.
her name?
Her name Tyra Edmonds.
And she's older than you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you and her speak?
We getting back. Yeah, we getting to a speaking place. We have been speaking a lot lately.
Yeah. 'Cause your mother is like this, it's like I see her like holding your hands, trying to get you back together. And I see like you're shaking your head because I see your sister like it's kind of like it's like that pouty baby, like I don't want to talk to her kind of thing. And like she's trying to get you all to come back together because you two are it. Like you guys, you know, you need each other.
Yeah.
So um and even just looking back, I can see I know that this was a challenge for you. It was a challenge losing your mom, but of course it was a big challenge. It's like It's like a bomb was dropped. Like when your brother, I want to say, got killed. Um, it's like this bomb that just like kind of dropped, and it's like each of you. It's like you just took the hit kind of different, but it kind of like scattered you.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
she actually passed a month before my wedding,
Oh wow.
so I was hurt. I was
Yeah.
hurt, and I think we both was hurt, and then we just it's something that happened, and we just end up lashing out at each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that for the two of you, just finding a way to communicate your mutual pain and just recognizing that you both were hurt, you both took a loss with both of your family members, and just like holding that space, because sometimes I'm gonna speak to like women or people of color because that's what I am. So that's what I understand the best. That we have this. Sometimes we have this thing where it's like we're not allowed to be vulnerable. We're not allowed to show pain. We're not allowed to cry. Different things like that, and it just we just hold all of these things in, and then eventually it's like it just kind of erupts, and then we're just like overreacting to everything,
Mhm.
right? It's like everything pisses me off, and now I'm just going off on everybody, and there's like no in between space there. So if the two of you could come together and just allow each other to be vulnerable and to just really say, like, when this happened, this is how it felt for me. And, I felt lost. I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know, who to turn to. And, holding that, again, just like holding that space for each other so that you could both say, this situation really hurt me. I didn't understand what was going on, with this, or, but just really allowing each other to be really honest. Because I'm feeling like I'm not clear on this if this was with your brother or if this was when your mom died. But there's something like I feel like this is your sister saying that like her needs weren't met or her desires, like maybe she wanted the service to be a certain way, and you're like, no, we're gonna do it this way. So it felt like there was some disagreement about how certain things should be done. And even from that, there's like this lingering, kind of anger, lingering. I'm hearing the word bitterness.
Mhm.
So, just going back and being able to say, like, okay, I did the best I could in that time, trying to get through this and get things done. You did the best you could. What can we do now so that we can move different? Or what did we learn from this? So, you know, if something else should happen, we could be prepared. We could work together, or we could already have some things in place to say, you know, when my time comes, which, 30, 40, 50, 60 years down the road, so not right now, but if something were to happen to me, I want you to do XYZ for me, or I want you to have these certain things, or I want you to take care of this, or, maybe we need to take care of certain things now so that if something happens in the future, we won't even have to worry about our emotions because these things will already be taken care of.
Right.
So I feel like even though this was like a very painful experience on a lot of different levels, this
Mhm.
is also something that you guys can use this to say, you know, we don't want our kids having these types of issues, or we don't want, our spouses to have to face some type of challenge. So let's work these things out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when people die, there's like something in us where we want to take ownership of that person.
Mhm.
Sometimes it can even feel like a competition
Mhm.
of, I love them more or they love me more. And that just, it just leads to more hurt feelings,
Mhm.
even though we're not like consciously trying to do that. But it's like that pain, we just want to hold on. And that's what I see is just like that, just wanting to hold tight.
Mhm.
So, again, just talking about those things, like having an honest conversation about those things, and even just acknowledging, like at the end of the day, like usually when people want something, when we want to hold on to something that belongs to our loved one, it's a way for us to like try to have some type of physical connection to that person, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like proof that they were here, or proof that we had some kind of special connection. And
Mhm.
so, um, just being able to say, like, at the end of the day, like, whatever the item was, it's not more important than the relationship that you could have with your sister now. Like, you two are here together. So, what can we build from this? Like, it's like, even like your mom, it's like she keeps like pulling your hands together. She keeps like trying to get you guys to come together.
My mama know her daughter. I don't know why she's trying to throw me to the fire. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, because I like your sister is kind of stubborn. So yeah,
Yeah. But I'm gonna do my part just because, she kinda I guess she the reason why she called me. I guess she the reason why she called me.
yeah.
Because I was hurt.
And so the items, is there anything that you feel like you will be willing to like compromise, or is there something that you have that you feel like she really, really wanted?
Um, Nothing that she had said per se, but we actually saw each other a few weeks ago, and I ended up wearing my mom's jean jacket that smelled like her, and she wanted it, and I wanted to hold on to it, but I gave it to her. I gave it to her.
Yeah.
I'm willing to compromise.
Any questions that you wanted to ask? Say
Um,
your mom, because your mom is the one that's more prominent right now. Your brother's just kind of, it's like he opened the door for your mom and he just kind of like standing there.
no. Well, that eased my mind knowing that they're together. Um, I know that her grandkids miss her a lot. Her granddaughter having a hard time. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to ask, honestly. I don't know what
How
to ask.
old is your daughter? When I see someone, is this your daughter or your sister's daughter? I see like a little girl that's in her lap and she looks like she's about 5 or 6 with these little ponytails, and she's just like leaning in her lap and is very
That's my
comfortable
baby.
there.
That's my baby. She 4.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They
That
seem
was
very
her
comfortable together.
that was her best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
that
I think your mother, I see her I see her coming around your daughter. I see her coming around. I see her coming around you like when you're cooking certain things, it's like she's kind of leaning over your shoulder, like, oh, you need to add a little bit more of this, or what you doing there? Like,
I be feeling that. I be feeling that because I season something and some just be like, put a little more. Now just put a little more.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, mom. I got it.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
that's
yeah,
that's so
so
crazy.
she's around you. She's definitely around you. Yeah.
That
And
one.
even, do you talk to her when you're driving?
I
'Cause
do.
I see you, yeah, in the car and like, like she's sitting there, she's in the passenger seat. So yeah, she's there. She's there. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, she's proud of you though. And she's saying that you have that, which I can see that as well. Like you do have that mediator spirit yourself. Like I see you always trying to bring people together. You try to find a resolution. Before you like I hear before you cut a bitch off, like you try to work it out
That's
first.
right.
So yeah. Um, yeah. And even with your sister, yeah. So for your mom, it's like, so whatever happened with your sister's dad, was that your sister and your brother's dad? Or just
Yeah.
you, it's you and your brother have the same dad?
Hmm.
Okay. So whatever happened with her father, it just seemed like it was very like tumultuous and
He never claimed her, and I think that hurt her too.
yeah. So it was like so from your mom, it's like being with your dad was like, starting over, having an opportunity to have a life that she wasn't able to have with your sister's dad. But at the same time, for your mom, it's like sometimes when we as adults, like we're trying so hard to like recreate this life or start over again, we don't want to think about or acknowledge some parts of our past.
Hmm.
And so it's like we can kind of cut off. How can I say this? We can kind of cut off parts of the child because we're like trying to leave the other person behind. So it can make the child feel like almost like we're not acknowledging a part of them. So yeah, your sister, I totally understand how she came to be this way. Um
Hmm.
and your mother, she can see it now. It was a little bit harder for her to see it when she was here, but I know she was aware when she was here as well,
Hmm.
but like she didn't really know how to reach out to your sister, how to make that connection. It's like sometimes with as parents, 'cause I'm a parent too, so sometimes, especially when we have more than one child, like whichever kid is easiest for us to get along with, then we kind of gravitate towards that one.
Hmm.
Sometimes we miss the opportunity, like the one that's really challenging us, like they have some things to teach us. They have some things to show us. And your sister was that for your mom, um, but your mom didn't always know how to handle it. So
Hmm.
it's just kind of easier. Like she can get along with you easier. So it's just kind of easier to fall back to you. Um, but that's her baby too. Like I see her pulling your sister in. And, she's like, "That's my baby. That's my baby. Like, I love my baby."
Yeah.
So so for your sister, one of the things that may help her for now is to start acknowledging, like, what she enjoyed about your mother, what she really loved about your mom, what she loved about their relationship. Um, because right now she just feels kinda hyper focused on all the bad stuff.
Hmm.
And it's just creating this bigger like gap within her where she's feeling even more separate, more just more pain, just more alone. Again, like that word alone is coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah, just acknowledging the special bond that she had or things that yeah, the things that were special to her or special memories, good memories. So I don't know, just reminding her to remember the good times, I guess, is
Okay.
what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yes, yes. So, any other questions?
Um, I got a call from one of my mama friends, and she pretty much told me that my mama felt it. She said that my mama told her, if I don't talk to you no more, I love you. She was like, it was a feeling that she never felt. Um, I just want to know if she felt it, and she just didn't want to tell us.
If your mom felt that she was about to make her transition,
Because what her friend told me that it kind of felt like a punch in the gut. Not really a punch in the gut. It just made me feel away. Because I was expecting her to come home.
yeah. So I feel like I see your mom like she started slowing down. She
Mhm.
started slowing down. I see her like her breathing was more labored. She was feeling more tired.
Mhm.
Um, and I hear her, she was saying that she didn't want to worry you. She didn't want to worry you all.
Mm.
So it was one of those things where like you have that thought, like, hmm, like maybe this could be it, but then you don't want to tell people. You don't want, especially not your children. He's
Yeah.
like, especially not your children. You don't want to tell them that. You don't want them worried. Because of course, you want to come home from this, right? You want to get over this. You want to get better. You want things to work out. But at the same time, there is that feeling of like, because I just feel like, even in my body, it's like I could just feel things just kind of shutting down and things just feeling harder and harder. Like to do just the
Mhm.
most basic things, it just is starting to feel harder and harder. It's almost like if I'm trying to swim through tar, it's just
Mhm.
very heavy. Like everything just feels heavy to move, to breathe. Like even now, I just it's like it's like I just want to. It's like my breathing feels like it's slowing down. Just everything, because even now I'm looking down, it's like my ankles feel swollen. So
Mhm.
it's just like all this. This feels very uncomfortable.
Okay.
So, so I know that she was aware that some things were changing, but at the same time, she didn't want you all to worry. So it's like she could tell her friend because her friend is not her child. You know?
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she said, "Don't be mad. Don't
I,
be mad."
I was mad. Cause she just kept saying, "I just want to make it to your wedding." She used to tell her friends, "I just want to see my baby walk down the aisle." So I was hurt. I was
Yeah.
mad at my brother. So I was like, "You could have waited. Now I know you miss her, but you could have waited."
Yeah. 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 But yeah, her body, like I said, I could just feel things just shutting down. It felt swollen and like I said, it's just like everything felt hard to do.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, yeah. Yeah, she said for sure she could have just if Will alone would have kept her going, she would absolutely still be here. But it was things in her body that were just like, yeah. There's even something about the medication. Um,
Yeah. She had a
so
patient.
it's like some
It
side
was.
effects or something like her body, like she has some kind of reaction.
Mm,
So yeah,
yep. I know her heart wasn't getting enough blood flow. Her pacemaker wasn't reading it. Um, And they was every time she went to the hospital, it was they was diagnosing her with anxiety. They was just diagnosing her with everything except what the issue was.
Yeah, yeah. And that's that's the challenge of being sick while black. Like, we don't
Yeah.
a lot of things get misdiagnosed or
Mhm.
they tell us we're being dramatic or doesn't really hurt as much as we say it hurts.
Uh,
So yeah, that, that's unfortunate because I do feel like something that gave her just had like an adverse reaction in her
mhm.
body, and she already had things going on. So it
Mhm.
was just like kind of like an overload. Like it was like too many things happening at the same time for her body to be able to bounce back.
Yeah. I agree. That's how I feel. I feel the same way. Ooh, this was good. I needed that.
I have a question because I keep hearing it. Is there something they would like me to do energetically on my end on their behalf?
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure my phone doesn't die. Um, well, now this is your aunt, correct,
Yeah.
Julia? Yeah. So she's fussing at you, and so so she has two things for you. So one is that you do need to take better care of yourself because you don't need to follow in her footsteps. So you do need to take better care of yourself, and you have this opportunity to be able to reach more people to have this greater impact than she was able to do in her lifetime. So it is really important for you to take care of yourself so that you're able to have that longevity. You're able to do what you really came here to do. Um, and you can, of course, uplift them, in your altar space, doing the work with the candles, with the libations, um, even asking her, because I see her wanting to support you as well in your work, but it is important. So it's important to make that separation. And again, this is something that I feel like, again, Black women in particular, like we go hard on, work, 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 go, go, go. Like we have this self-sacrificing mentality, and then that ends up actually getting in the way of us really being able to be as great as we potentially could be if we were physically healthy, if we were physically well. So it is really important for you to honor your physical body, honor your health, and even like that joy, the happiness, the lightheartedness. Because you said you're too damn serious. So you need to lighten up. You need to lighten up. You need to lighten up and have more fun. Have more fun. Um, but I do feel like, if you spend some time at your altar with her, I don't know what her profession was in life, but I feel like she does want to help you build out what you're wanting to build out. So having some of that quiet time to allow her to come through, to kind of like, it's like she wants to whisper some things in your ear. She wants to guide and direct you. So spending that quiet time. And, again, we love candles. We love, pouring libations or having some kind of, liquid offering, especially for your brother too. the liquor seems like it would be very appropriate for your brother, for your
Yeah.
cousin. Um, so yeah, just honoring them, and because there's one last thing I will say is that, and this of course makes sense because they were both young to say, they transitioned. Because I feel like, 60, 60, what, 61, that's young to
Mm-hmm.
make your transition, and of course being, what, 27,
Mm-hmm.
that's very young, right?
Yeah.
So, so there is that, how can I say, they're wanting you both to experience longevity, right? To truly have that long and happy life. So it is important to be aware of anything that may be going on right now that could get in the way of that long, happy life. So, just honoring that for both of you, whatever that means for each of you, but taking that seriously.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Well, thank you.
Yes, yes. And so I will say this, my last thing. So I tell all my clients, like, after we finish, um, I'm gonna clear my energy, wash my hands. So both of you go wash your hands. And the reason I tell you that is because moving water, it helps like pick up that energy, and it allows it to keep flowing so that nothing like stays stuck.
Okay.
So I'm going to release your family members now and return them back to the other side. So in my mind, I see a door that comes. And so I'm returning them both from whence they came until I call upon them again. So your brother is holding the door open and he's doing this to your mother. So your mother's going through the door, she's waving, and then your brother. So they've gone through the door is closed. And what I didn't say to you all is I always call in my guides and my guardians, the elevated ancestors. So I'm releasing them. So they are all returning. And so even though I have released that connection, that energetic high that I created with them now, this is your family. So they are always just a thought away. So you can talk to them like you've been doing. You can talk to them at any time. That connection is absolutely not going anywhere.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Okay. So, Miss Erica, that was really great, as I knew it would be.
Thank you. Yes, that was. I enjoyed meeting. I always love meeting family, other people's family. Yeah.
Yes. So, could you tell everyone how they can get in contact with you?
Yes, absolutely. So you can come to my website, and it is thewisdomrealms.com, and that is WISDOM, and realms is REALMZ, Z on the end. So it's wisdomrealms.com, and you can look at all my services there. I have different classes that I teach throughout the year, so those will be featured on my website as well. And actually, I wanted to send you a link for a special code. So if people want to book a service, from this podcast, then they can use the code "Thank You" in all caps. Thank you, and they will get 20% off of any of my services that are $100 or more. They'll get 20% off. So yeah, so thank you.
Awesome. That's really good.
Yeah, it's my
I did
pleasure.
myself.
You are welcome to, most definitely.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us this evening to share and let us know more about the life of a medium. I think it was very, very informative. I think it would give people a lot of great insight, people who may have been apprehensive or just maybe not really understand what a medium actually is and what they can do and what their benefits and purpose is. So thank you for that. I really like that.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
yeah. And also thank you, Cuzzies, for tuning in with us. We would like for you to go to our YouTube and Spotify channel at the Cuzzies Podcast to like and subscribe. Until next time.
Bye. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Whew, yeah.